Hello everyone, it is Shadow Neko Boy, and, well, it's been a while. Uh, well, instead of playing a game like I always do, it's gonna be a little bit different. We're gonna do a Q&A. Granted, there's only two questions. Well, one, two, three, four questions. One is, who is this adorable, sexy, rich cat boy? Well, my awesome husband, Phantom Bunny Mutt, made me this PNG tuber, and I want later on in the future a actual VTuber version of it, but that's later. But for now, I've finally decided how I wanted my character, because I always wanted one to begin with, and so he is finally done. So this is the little new posting of me that you're gonna be seeing a lot on my videos, my Twitch, TikTok, basically everywhere. He's cute, he's purple, he's a cat, he's a rich, and he's adorable. It's cute. But yeah, uh, so that's the first one, is the new little character intro. As you can see, was hand drawn, but not really with hands. Well, it was with hands. I hope it was with hands, but more on a computer. I don't know what he used for it, but he drew it, and I think he has like a link to it on his link tree if you want to go check out his art, and he is doing open commission for a GoFundMe, which I will explain that later. Um, but yeah, he's everything I love. He is a cat. He is beautiful with long hair like I have, and he's basically my favorite color. And his little outfit is adorable. Like if I had the body for it, I would so totally wear that outfit. And as you can probably see, it has a tongue ring that I actually have gotten in the past couple months. I actually got a tongue ring, and oh my gosh, that shit hurt like a bitch. Like it was horrible. And like I looked on TikTok and see, all the videos of, oh, getting a new tongue ring, just what to watch out for, and everyone always said it no big deal. But it was a big deal. It was a huge big deal. But that's for another time. Maybe another video if you want to hear about my tongue piercing experience. Leave a comment in the comment section. If you want to actually like hear it, maybe I'll make a video of it and uh talk about that. So that's that. I just wanted to introduce the new PNG tuber, and I like it. It's from just being an image and an idea from just my head into this is, I think it's amazing. Like, to those people out there that could actually do it and draw like this, like, kudos. Like, damn, like, fuck, I can't ever do that. But he could, and I'm grateful that I have someone that took the time and made me this awesome tubu. Well, PNG tubu. That's a long word. But yeah, every detail, shading, and everything he spent hours on whenever he had free time, and redoing it and fixing it and all that. So yeah, that really brought it up. I just kind of one day, boom, with a new character. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna have him more. Well, not more, but all the time on my videos, because, well, it's me. So that's the first one. That's the kind of first question I wanted to get out is who is this little character? It is, well, Shadow. It's me. It's a meow. But yeah, that's basically covers it all up. I mean, it's basically everything about me in here. Do I have purple hair? No, I wish, but my hair is too dark for that. Yeah. Okay, the second question is, where have I been for the past couple months? Yeah, sorry about that. I kind of disappeared on y'all. I was constant, I was video doing it, I was doing this and that, uh, and then suddenly, poof, gone. Um, well, while I was gone, I wish I wasn't. I never had, but I was gone because back in December, my dad started to lose feelings in his leg. And over time, it seemed like a port muscle. That's how it started. And then after, a couple days, it just got worse and worse. And he went to the clinic and they said it was a poor muscle. So they gave him some pills for it and everything. He went to work. But over time, it got worse and worse until he needed help to walk. And then he couldn't go to work no more. And I remember I was so mad because the clinic said it was a pulled muscle. Pulled muscles don't do that. I pulled my muscle a long time ago, and it never did that. And I should have acted faster. I should have advised him to go to the hospital sooner, but I didn't. That's something I regret to this day. Um, and so once it got bad, well, he couldn't go to work anymore because he's scaffolding. It's dangerous. He goes up high ladders and everything like that, and he could barely walk. He needed help, holding on to someone to barely get up and to walk and stuff. So he basically had to quit his job so fast. And so we were trying to get Medicare because we didn't have another insurance at that time. And so we went, and it was horrible because he had to get help, and it was very painful and hard for him to walk and get into the building. Only for them to just say that, oh, well, he doesn't have the right papers. He doesn't have the right things that they need to do to get it started. And then he needs to pay a fee to get it started or something like that because apparently they said we started it and then we didn't pay the fee. So we needed like 2,000 to just get it started. But we didn't have that kind of money at all. So we didn't know what to do. So we went back. We went back home. And we just kind of was stoned. And that was in like November. And around December time, it's like the early beginning of December, we went to the hospital because it got to the point where he cannot move at all. He lost all feelings in his legs. It was totally gone. So we went to the hospital, and that's when they did scans, MRIs, PET scans, and everything like that, and they found a tumor pressing on his spine, and they had to do an emergency surgery to take it out because if they waited any longer, it would completely paralyze him. So we thought that was it. It came out, they did the operation, he got out, he was good. And we thought that was the end of it. Um, but it wasn't. We found out later it had cancer in it, cancer cells, lymphoma. And it's lymphoma is a blood type cancer, which thankfully wasn't too bad, but it's still bad because, well, any kind of cancer is bad. Um, but so we found that out, and then we found out that he might never walk again. So, but before all that happened, um, he needed, to do chemo. And like while all that is happening, like all this news of like he got cancer and we needed him to do chemo and everything else, he needs screenings and blood work and all this other stuff. Uh, we didn't have insurance. So, woo, fun time to be in America, right? Um, so we kind of had to wait on that, and we couldn't give him his chemo. Now, all this happened in December, all before Christmas, and we spent Christmas in the hospital, and I was driving back and forth, because he went to the one in Houston. Yes, I live in Texas. Um, but we went to the hospital in Houston, and I had to drive back and forth. It was like a 2 hour drive one way. Wait, both ways is 2 hours. Yeah, there we go. And that way my mom could go to work still because she's the only one that's working. And I don't work because of personal reasons and all of my past work experience. I've got harassed, threatened, life-threatening threats, and sexually harassed and everything else. And jobs never really got what's good for me, both mentally and physically. I had one good job, but anyways, I'm getting off subject. That's maybe for another story, video of a story time, something like that. But anyways, so yeah, I was driving my mom back and forth. I stayed with my dad in the hospital so I could help him remember all the information and help stay with him because yeah, it's life changing to get the operation and then to be told you got cancer. So my mom would stay Monday through Thursday, and then I would drive over there to get a Friday through Saturday, Sunday, and then drive back. And I was driving back and forth, and drove back to pick up her some clothes so she could stay with him and everything like that. And so I was doing a lot. I was trying to help out as best I could, trying to be strong for them, trying to remember everything. And I've never done with hospital stuff like or medication or anything and ever. I always look to my mom to be like, "Hey, how do I set an appointment? How do I do this?" My hospital is just Walmart prescriptions, on in the aisles and like Tylenol, even though Tylenol don't work for me. But yeah, that was my hospital, just HB, Walmart kind of pills. But I was thrown into trying to figure out how to manage everything, how to be there for my mom and dad, and how to make it work and calm them down. And I know it was hard, and we had our moments of him breaking down, and I had to be strong for him and reassure him and everything. And it was a lot. Uh, and so after a while, it took me about like until February to figure out how to get Medicare. And I know somebody like, oh, Medicare is easy to get, just sign up. And no, it's not because you have to get this paperwork. You have to call this person. And then when you call them people, you get put on hold for like 5 hours to 6 hours. That was my everyday. And even when I'm trying to call them every fucking day, I get told I'm not doing anything, that I'm lazy. And there was a lot. I had to find insurance. I have to find an outsourced doctor so he could get his chemo. I had to make the schedules. I need to make all of this other stuff. And on top of that, I have to make sure dad was okay. I have to learn how to change him, how to, properly transfer him to a wheelchair, make sure he eats, because most of the times he wouldn't eat. And then he gets constipated, and then that causes his spasms to worsen. And when that happens, he could get so much complications after that. But you know, I I had a lot to do, and I didn't really have time to do anything like YouTube or anything like that. Because before he even started on chemo, I had to figure everything out all by myself. And I know like, oh, shouldn't be great, ungrateful. He's your dad. You should want to be helpful and all that, which I'm not saying that. You see, I'm the youngest of four. I have three other siblings, older siblings, and none of them helped at that time. One of them, the one before me, the third oldest, I don't blame her because, she didn't know either. She didn't know how to do it. Not that much. She's just 4 years older than me. And that's, her reasoning is kind of personal. And, I don't expect her to know how to do anything wise, computer wise or looking stuff up and everything like that. I do not expect her to know anything like that. Now, my other two oldest, they're way older than me. They have jobs that require them to do legal paperwork and documents and know how to call people, know how to look up stuff. They know how to do all of this stuff and they never offer to help. Like, I asked them for help and they just got mad at me and said I wasn't doing anything. Even though I was staying with my dad, sometimes I don't eat because, at the rehab, they don't give me a plate to eat. And I know that we are tight on money because of the drive to back and forth and the groceries and everything else. And the bills are coming up and it was just on my mom's paycheck. She don't make that much either. So everything was so hard. And at that time, we didn't have Medicare. My dad was not making no money at all. because we need Medicare, and on top of that, we need to get Social Security. So that's two things. And I had to figure all that out on top of taking care of my dad. For the very first time, I had to do all three of those, and I was just thrown into it. And, I figured, my two older sisters would have supported me or helped out or anything, but they didn't. And what pissed me off more is that they didn't help, and my dad noticed. My dad noticed that his kids were acting up and fighting. And at the lowest time of his life, all he wanted was us to all get along and help each other out. But they didn't. And I don't know why. I know why one didn't, because she said I wasn't doing anything. Because, why should she help me when she has her own life, her kid, and, all of the other stuff? She's listed so much stuff, and I'm like, this is your dad too. But I didn't want to say anything because I didn't want to stress out my dad more than he is. So that's why she didn't help me, because she thought I wasn't doing anything, that I was just sleeping all day, even though I was on my computer searching so much, trying to figure out how to do Medicare, how to get Social Security, what all paperwork do I still need, because he still need his bank statements and his letters from his work, which his work didn't even respond. And then the case manager was like, "Oh, I will help you," but then she never comes back. She never gets the proper paperwork that I need to do to fill it out or anything. And and he needed to do um some doctor visits, and so I called the hospital, and they're like, "Oh, we don't do that. You have to find someone else." And I'm like, who do I find? What do you mean? And he was like, well, you just have Medicare A. Because I got Medicare A. And they're like, you need B for outpatients. I'm like, no one fucking told me that. Well, what the fuck is B? So, so I need A and B. And I'm like, well, shit. How the fuck do I do that? So it was a whole big thing. And that was before he started chemo. I had to do all that. And I was trying to still do YouTube on top of all of that to maybe hopefully, you know, keep my community going, try to build and maybe use the YouTube money to, help out with the bills and everything else, especially now of all things. But that takes time and years and a lot of followers and subscribers and all the other stuff and all the, shebang. And time was not on my side. No, it happened so fast. But I figured it out. Um, so afterwards, once we got A and B, he started his chemo in February, 3 months after being diagnosed. Um, I don't remember what stage he was at the beginning, but when he got admitted finally to do chemo, it was a stage 4. And it's not as scary as it sounds. I know. With blood cancer, you kind of have to, like, stage 1, 2, and 3, 4. 4 is just means it's spread in multiple areas. And because at first, I think it was just in his back. Because when we went to go check on it, they said that it spread to his stomach area and into, like, his side. And I blame myself. If I would have done it faster, maybe it wouldn't have. Sorry. Maybe it wouldn't have spread that bad if I would have done faster. If I would have, I don't know, got it quicker or was smarter. Um, because some of this paperwork were confusing and I didn't know what it meant, and maybe then he would have gotten so bad. Maybe it would have been okay. Maybe he would have been able to walk faster. Um, sorry. It's just been so stressful. Um, but he got chemo. The first round was it was okay. It went smoothly, surprisingly, thankfully. He did get sick actually. It was smooth for a bit and then he got sick. His heart rate was in the hundreds, 120, 130s. And he had blood clots in his legs. So he was on blood thinners. And he was stuck in a hospital for like a week, 2 weeks and stuff. And I never left his side. Only on the weekends. That's when my mom takes over. But other than that, I stayed with him throughout all of his hospital rehab. I was taking in all the information, learning how to signs to watch out for, what's going on, what's medication doing, and I've been acting as his doctor and caretaker. And so we've been on and off of the hospital for these past months with chemo. He's did chemo for like I think 6 months. He did 6 rounds of chemo. He was did chemo and then once he was done with it, he went to rehab. And it was fine. It was getting into a good routine of chemo and then rehab and then back to the hospital. So it was a nice little sadly routine that we kind of got into um and at the end of it, close to the end, there was a big scare. It he he got constipated. I never knew how dangerous constipation can be until that day. You see, he got constipated. Well, he couldn't poop at all. And his stomach was like really extended, like very big. And like when you tap on it, it was hard. You could hear like don't. And I noticed his pee output was, he wasn't peeing a lot. And he was still on his medication. He was taking a lot of medication because his white blood cells were low because of the chemo. So he was doing all of that, and he did not pee, and he was constipated. And what happened was when he was constipated, it kind of swelled, and it was pushing on his bladder, and his bladder got kind of, well, pushed the little tube of, the bladder tunnel, and I don't know big fancy words, but it got stuck where he couldn't pee, and all of that toxin from the medication, go figure, medication that was supposed to help him not get sick or anything, was the main thing that got him sick. And because, when you pee, you get rid of all the toxin and everything else through your urine. He couldn't do that because of all the poop that made it swell up and block it. So all that toxin in his, you know, pee kind of went back into his body, stayed in there, and got his kidney low because of that, and all of it went to his brain. Basically, like an overdose in a sense. He was delirious. He couldn't talk. He couldn't comprehend anything. He was not himself. He couldn't remember. He couldn't say much, and it was just horrible, and it was scary that that happened, and I didn't know what was going on. And the name for it is like cephalophysis. It had a weird name to it. But so that went on, and it was a big thing, and it scared me. And at first he was tired. It happened slowly. He said he was tired from his workout, which I was like, okay, well, you eat your lunch, and how about you take a nap? He didn't really eat much. He kind of threw up a little. So, like, it wasn't a big throw up, but it was more like a spit up. So I laid him, we got the nurse to lay him down, and he was asleep. And he just said he felt weird. Like, he was dizzy, but not really dizzy, but he just felt weird. That's how he put it. So I went to the nurse and told them about it. They came and checked on him, and they were like, "Oh, he's fine." And that's when I saw the pee bag, and I'm like, they've come to think of it, they haven't changed his pee. They haven't dumped it, drained it. For usually they drain it a lot, and they haven't. So I told them, and they dismissed me. They didn't take me serious, and they're like, "Oh, it's fine, he's fine." And I said, "Okay, if you have a bad feeling and knew something's wrong, and you just have a gut feeling, even if you're not a doctor or don't know anything about medication or stuff, but you have that gut feeling of this is different, this is new, this is a new symptom, this you never done this before, go with it. Tell the nurse that, hey, this is going on, this is what happened. Do not overlook it because it could have ended up badly for him. And it did. He had to go to the hospital, and they didn't know what was wrong even then. They didn't have to pump his stomach or anything, but they had to do a lot, and they had to do so much, and it wasn't a good thing. They had to like put a lot of fluids in him to try to drain it out. And if that didn't work, they didn't really know what what was wrong with him. So, and that night while I was, laying down trying to go to sleep, he was making noises, joking and everything, and I thought he had a nightmare. Was having nightmares, and I should have got up. I should have got up and checked on him. It was scary that morning when the nurses came in and they tried to wake up my dad. And I remember they couldn't. For for Ralph, they couldn't wake him up. They They shook him, they yelled his name, and he wouldn't wake up. Till finally he did, but when he did, he wasn't himself. He was delirious. He was making weird noises. He couldn't speak. He was violent to the nurses that was trying to take his temperature and vitals and everything else. It was trying to hit them. And he just couldn't talk. He couldn't get any kind of words out. So I let, my parents, well, my mom know and my other siblings. And for some reason, the second oldest gave me an attitude while all of that was happening. She got an attitude with me, and I was like, "Are you fucking serious? While all of this is happening, you got a fucking attitude? When I'm over here trying to tell you what's wrong and what's going on, she got a fucking attitude." And I don't know what's the fucking problem. Uh, but thankfully, they were able to get it better, and he said he remembers half of it. He doesn't remember the first 2 days, and I'm kind of glad because he was not himself. It was very, very scary, and I hope no one ever has to experience that. But he got through it. He got better, and the rest of the chemos sessions that he went through were good. I make sure, he's peeing all the time, he's pooping all the time. I keep track of that now. Any little sign of him seeing off or weird, seeing stuff. He was seeing stuff so much. He was like seeing spiders that wasn't there or things in the corner that wasn't there on the ceiling. And I try to tell him, there's nothing there, and he'll get mad. So I, try to do my best to calm him down, and it was new, and I hope it never happens again. But now I know what to watch out for and what to basically do to, when that happens. So yeah, if you don't take a lot of medication and you don't pee or poop, then you might get all that medication back up into your brain if you don't let it out of your system. So that's something new and kind of like that's weird. The thing that's supposed to help you get better can actually cause you bad stuff if you don't pee it out. I know if you take too much, it's kind of bad because I history of that isn't the best for me. But yeah. So that's what I've been dealing with. He's back now. We finally got uh done with chemo a couple months ago. So woo, he did good. Is he done with chemo? Is he out? Well, chemo, yes. Is he done with cancer? That I do not know. He has appointment on the 11th and the 12th of this month, but we need the money. We don't have the money. And his medication is a lot. It's called Eliquis. If anyone has ever dealt with Eliquis, then I feel you. That bitch is a bitch. It just for a week is almost $100. We don't have that kind of money, especially with all the other bills coming up, and you know we're behind on a lot of bills, and then he needs other medication that's on top of that is 100 something. So that's like 200 right there on top of rent, on top of water and gas and storage and all of this other stuff that we have going on. So it's money's been tight, and a lot of struggles been going on. We don't have a reliable car to get him safely to his, you know, um, appointments. And the only one that could help is the second oldest, which is being a bitch. I don't know why. I don't know why she's acting up, but she is. And that's only hurting my dad, not me. And my first oldest, she's in La La Land. She has the money to help. She has, means to do her own house, do her own life, and to help out. Like, hey, do you need diapers? Do you need wipes? Do you need medication? Do you need more, groceries and gas money and everything else? Like, what do you need? Medication, and there's a lot of stuff that we need. And she went and bought a pool. Which, yeah, it's her money. She should do whatever she wants, but she knows my dad is struggling, that we needed a car or some kind of way to get into the vehicle. Because we have a truck to get a real person, wheelchair person that cannot walk, cannot stand into. But, they bought a pool instead of helping, which I'm still kind of pissed about that. Um, but yeah, that's what's been going on with my life. Thrown into a caregiver and trying to figure all of this stuff out and trying to help as much as I can. And I can't get a regular, morning job because I have to stay here and help my dad, take care of him and everything else. And even with going, getting a night job, there is no night jobs around here. And there are like power plants and stuff like that, but you gotta have a hard hat on. And for some reason, I cannot wear a hard hat. I get headaches and like it feels like it's squeezing. And even with just like a baseball cap on, it hurts. It feels so tight. Even with the when I take a shower and put my hair up and have the towel wrapped around my head, even that will give me a headache and it feels like it's just being squeezed. I don't know why is that, but I can't wear anything on my head no more. So and in all those power plants, you have to have a hard hat. So I know I can't do that. And I'm just know that if I get a job, my mental health will go down because I struggle with that. And I'm worried if I do that, I might get bad in the head again and fuck up. I might do something wrong and hurt my dad, drop him when he's in the Hoyo. And so I'm trying to get money in different ways. How? I don't know yet. It's been really hot outside to do like a bake sale or anything like that. And because, I mean, who would want to get, cookies or cupcakes or something like that from someone who is sweaty and the cupcakes itself is melty? And I don't think no one will buy that. I wouldn't buy that. Would you buy that? No. So no one's gonna buy that. So that's why I haven't really done that. And plus, we don't have the money to buy extra stuff. All we have to add is $100 for 5 people to budget. And we have animals. We have cats and one dog, but mostly cats. And so we have to budget everything and make sure the bills are done. And we're behind on a lot. And the medication, he's running out, and he haven't taken his Eliquis, which is for his blood clots. And I hope to the gods that he doesn't have blood clots. So I've been trying to get motivated to make videos and get donations. I did a donation stream, but I'm a nobody. No one's gonna watch me and donate like my fantasy did. My fantasy version in my head did. I donate and voila, I managed to get at least $100 or 200. Well, I could put it to medication and pills, and that's all in my head. And I'm a nobody. Who's gonna stay and watch and especially donate to someone they don't even know? And I mean, I see all these streamers, but then I remember, hey, they're known. They have people. They have a community. They're up there. I'm not. Horrible timing, but that's that's life, I guess. Um, anyways, so that's what I've been trying to get back into order. My dad's finally home. We're finally home. Um, I was throughout those months he was in the hospital and rehab. I was sleeping on an air mattress that it deflated. Oh my gosh. It wasn't even our air mattress. Someone left it in a different room and the nurse gave it to us. So we took it and it had a hole in it. And it just got worse and worse over time. And we'll sleep on it and we wake up and we're on the ground. And so we're like, damn it. So we had to air it up and, stayed. And, most of the time I was by myself. Other times I had Phantom with me, sleeping beside me and being there for support. And I'm happy that was able to stay sometimes. Sometimes he stayed home to take care of the house, make sure my mom gets her medications and her lunch and make dinner for her when she comes home and everything else. And um I think everyone has changed, Before my third sister, she wasn't helping at all. She wasn't really changing him, moving him, giving his medication. She'll have an attitude, and she was really bad at the beginning, but now she's very helpful. She's pulled a lot. She changed a lot. She grew a lot, you could say. She's taken loads off of me a lot, and I appreciate she done more than the other two ever have. And so yeah, she help out more at around the house and she helps out. I'm very grateful that she actually started helping out and is better. Granted, my mom always has to yell at her and stuff, but she finally got the hang of it. Um, but yeah, I've been trying to slowly get into a routine of, in the morning, take care of my dad, give him lunch, set him up, and try to help him do his exercises and to, make sure he doesn't have a fever and everything else and um make sure, he's peeing good and pooping and everything, make sure nothing bad happens to him. And, taking him to his appointments and then trying to figure out when to stream and make videos, and I haven't been able to find that rhythm yet. or anything. And I know, Phantom was like, oh, well, you've been gone. Maybe you should, explain yourself, because you just poofed out of nowhere. And I've noticed my views aren't getting a lot of views anymore. And maybe it's because, I've disappeared on and people who followed me or watched me kind of left or like, whatever, but yeah, I think I owe a explanation, so here it is. Um, that's basically it. I will try to make videos, do streams, do TikTok. I don't really know what to do on TikTok. I guess I'm just gonna make shorts. If you have an idea on what to do on TikTok, please let me know, because I do not know. And um it would help a lot if you commented and be like, hey, you could do these on TikToks, or you know, I don't know. But if not, that's fine. So yeah, I'm gonna try to be constant and yeah, try to keep it going. Um, my little project of the Yowie, the threesome of just Wonderland, it still go. I did not forget about it. It's just I didn't have time to do it, and I'm waiting on the voice actors. Um, Jade, of course, is professional and got it done so fast. So he's done. He's over with me. He's gone and left and went on to his new flames and stuff. Nah, but it was very good. Captain Pez. It's on the video. Sorry. If you want to go check him out. He's very good. His voice acting is good. He looks really good, and he gets his lines done. Like, damn, bro. Um, the other two are busy and hasn't got all the lines done or anything like that. But they'll. I get it. Life happens, and and it is a free commission and everything like that. So, and I know life gets busy and shitty because boom, here I am with all of this shit happened and since December, almost a whole year now, dealing with back and forth here and there. And yeah, so I totally get it, which I'm not hassling them too much because I don't even know if I'll um be able to, like, hey, what's my lines? You had all this month. Well, I had all this months to get the narrator down and editing and everything else, but I didn't. So I'm not gonna hassle them too much. Like, I life happens. I fucking get it. But I have a link in my description, bio or whatever you call it, of a GoFundMe for to help my dad. And it's in the link tree. I think that's what it's called. Yeah. Link tree. It's a little GoFundMe if you want to help me out and support my dad and medication and bills and everything. Um, if you can't, then that's fine, and if you don't want to, that's fine. I'm a complete stranger. I get it. But if you can, that'd be awesome and very appreciated. And if you can't, then maybe share it with other people, get it out, hopefully. I mean, I didn't post a picture because I don't feel comfortable showing my dad and um uh yeah, because there's people out there that are like, oh, this is the dad. I'm gonna look it up, and then they're gonna like face reveal. But I'm a nobody, so no one will do that. But there's crazy people out there just to get videos, and I'd rather not do a face reveal right now because there's no one to do it. And yeah, I no. Anyways, but I'm paranoid, but yeah, that if you can, then that's awesome. If you can't, that's fine. And if you could share it, that would be super great. Maybe share it with your community or your YouTube people, maybe if they could help, or just anything helps. $1. I don't have $1, but $1, $2, 50 cents, it all adds up. And I was also thinking about, making spell jars. Um, and trying to sell them on Etsy or I think that's the name of it. But I don't know if anybody would buy them, to be honest. It's I never made them before. I made one spell jar for my second oldest before she became a bitch, and you know, after that I took it back. I took back my good luck and my spell of good luck on her career and everything like that, and to basically a success jar, spell jar is what I made her. And after she done me wrong and everything she did, I took back my energy from that spell jar. I'm not trying to say I'm the cause of everything that's gone wrong with her, but secretly I would like to think so. I know that's horrible, but fuck it, man. She's been a bitch to me. Like, who does that? No, don't get me started with her. It's a bitch. That's all I gotta say. She's a two-face, and anyways. But yeah, I was thinking about you know doing maybe some sleep sleep. I don't know how you spell like sleep jars or sleep spell jars or something like that, and have Lord Hypnos bless it and stuff. And yes, I worship Lord Hypnos. I have the little tattoo on my character. It's actually his sigil that I made, and he likes it. I believe he likes it. I showed it to him, and he loves it. And so yeah, that's Lord Hypnos sigil that I made. Um, So I was thinking about that, making a little spell jars of success, maybe sleep, health, and all that, and sell it on Etsy. But then I'm like, who's gonna buy it? I look on Etsy and see all the other jars, spell jars, and I'm like, fuck, they look better. Mine look like shit, and I'm just like, who's gonna buy it? No one's gonna buy my spell jar, So I'm like, well, damn. I can't really do anything. I can't really draw. I can because Phantom is trying to do commissions to get money that way, and I can't do that. So I'm like, maybe I can do a spell jar, but I'm pretty sure no one will buy it, and I have no talents. I can't do anything. I can't get a job. I can't. I feel stuck, and I feel useless. Waste of space. I feel like just drowning with everything going on, life, and I just feel like I failed. I know everyone, my dad especially, my mom will say I did good. I helped out. I did a lot, and I'm doing. I did a lot. I took stuff, but one thing you gotta know about me is that I am a downer. I have mental issues, and I am a big downer on myself. I will support everyone else. I will give them advice. I would lift them up, give them the best ass advice I could think of. But to myself, I would stop myself and sabotage myself, drown myself, and do anything negative, basically. And but only to myself. Others, I'm glad to help. I love helping and feeling useful. And I'm pretty sure that's another mental issue of some kind of something. But I'm trying. So if you have time to stop by and watch my videos, or to click on the GoFundMe, or even check out Phantom's Linktree and see if he could draw you something and help out that way, or hell, even just comment on the video of like, hey, you're doing good, or hey, like in TikTok you could do this, or a simple hi. It would mean a lot. But if not, that's fine. I mean, I have no one ever stays this long anyways. Everyone's just like usually leaves after 2 minutes, or if I'm lucky. But I would try to get back into it and try to do videos and make more game videos and stream and maybe do Reddit stories. But what do you by listen to Reddit stories from someone who talks like, well, me? Um, but or like story time of stuff. I don't really know. Or anything really. But yeah, that's the last question of the day. Yay. um, it's already an hour. Damn. Sorry it's so long. If you stayed this long, then y'all awesome. Thank you for listening, and thanks for listening to my rants and explanation. And I'm sorry if the audio was shitty, or it broke out, or I got muffled or anything. Like muffled, or it kind of sound funny. I most likely was crying. And sorry about that. It's just, yeah. Anyways, um, so I hope you are having a good day, and I hope to see y'all on YouTube, or on Twitch, or on TikTok. But thanks for listening, or even stopping by for a tiny bit. Granted, you don't hear the thank if you just leave at 2 minutes in, or 2 seconds in. You won't hear the thanks. But for those who did just leave long time ago, thank you. Even though you don't know it, but I send the thanks to you to follow you, and you'll feel it. You'll feel the thank you in the air. You'll get a shiver down your spine. That's just me whispering in your ear, like, thank you, my precious. So, yeah, I try not to whisper too long. I don't know if you could get the whisper, and it's just a cut off. So, um, yeah, thank you so much for listening and watching, and staying till the very end. Stay safe out there, and yeah, if you're new, then this is the new well, a catchphrase never heard of. But those who have watched my videos till the very end, thank you for watching. Remember, with the right attitude, anything is possible. Because it's little Paul and Sybil. Yeah, that's funny. That's always so funny. I love that. I love cat puns. They're just perfect. Ah, oh shit. Shut up. You crack me up. I know. I'm so funny. Okay. Well, bye bye.